Hey guys, Eugene here from Review Outdoor Gear, and this video today is going to be about our process of making the wood-powered, wood-heated hot tub. You guys might have seen our video where we installed this hot tub out in the wilderness. If you haven't, that video is under this video in the description or up here in the corner. Check it out. And the rest of the video is just going to be, our process and our mistakes and what we learned. So here it is. So this here is a stock tank that is 169 gallons, and it's 2 feet by 6 feet. I think it's about 2 feet tall as well. And then there's a drain hole here that's plugged right now that you can unplug to drain it. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't tried it yet, but I believe a hose screws into there, like a regular hose end. And you can run that out. So there we go. And it's it's a galvanized steel tank, and with Save heavy duty zinc coating. So the galvanization is a zinc, so it's a zinc coated basically steel tub. It's not that heavy. I haven't weighed it, but I'm thinking it's probably between 30 and 50 pounds. 30 and 40 pounds, I think. These are the components to build the Dutch tub. The most basic ones, and all quite nice. So we have this copper tubing, which is a 1/2 inch external diameter, 3/8 inch internal diameter. And this one here is 50 feet long. These are the fittings to attach everything to the tub, which I'll show you in a second. So these here are these adapters, and they're a 1/2 inch compression, 1/2 inch MIP, I'm not sure what that means, brass. So there are 2 of these that we need, and basically I'll show you how those work in just a second. And then we have 2 of these, same thing, and they're basically a tank pass through, so you can put this inside the tank. This part goes inside, and the screw goes on the nut goes on the outside, and then this sits out like that. And these have a thread that's 3/4 to 1/2. So the 1/2 thread is inside, 3/4 on the outside. So the 1/2 inch thread here matches up with the 1/2 inch thread here, so that we could screw this part into here like that after we have this on here. So that screws in there, and then this whole thing right here, so this is in the tank, this whole thing attaches to this. So this has 3 very important components. This nut that comes off of here goes on here first. And then this little compression bracket or compression washer, I don't know what it's called, but it goes on there. And then this part goes on here. And you want to push this up all the way up against that, and then push this in there, and then start to screw that down. So if you're having trouble finding any of these components, 2 places to look. A couple of them we got, like this pipe right here, at an Ace hardware store. You can also look at Home Depot, Lowe's, any hardware store. And the other place to find a lot of this stuff, like all of these right here, we found at the North 40 store, North 40 Outfitters. And this is basically a feed and tack store that sells a lot of like farming gear, and a lot of a lot of farmers seem to go there because they sell a lot of the things for repairing your hydraulics and all this stuff. And they have a lot of these really cool hardware pieces there that we were not able, these right here, we weren't able to find anywhere except there. That's where to buy all this stuff, because it took us a long time. We went to like a bunch of places looking for all these things. So the way we decided to coil this is we got a bucket. This is actually a bucket that's full. The reason, you can just take one of these buckets, fill it up with water, just so that it doesn't bend really easily. And put the lid on it so that it stays nice and solid. And then we just marked off the edge that we're gonna have straight to the tank here, and then we're just holding it. One person holds it here like that, and then the other person just pushes everything up, and then you just coil it around like this and pull it here to make it the right diameter. We got the coil. It looks very beautiful. Look at this thing. It turned out way better than we thought.
Last time it looked that pretty.
Yeah. And then we're gonna drill the holes here. So we're making them a foot apart on the bottom, like this way. And then about 16 inches off this way. So it's not at the very top because we won't be able to, not at the very top because we might not have water all the way to the top. And then there's the bottom one. All right, putting these in. Taz driving the system here, just hooked everything up, filled it up just so it's over that. And bubbles are starting to slowly come out. And this pipe is starting to feel just slightly warmer. I think it's heating up. We'll see how it goes. When I have to take all this apart and take it out to our site. Guys, somewhat of a development here. So we initially started with the 1/2 inch external diameter piping, and we really did a lot of experimenting, and it works. And we got the tub up from 46 degrees Fahrenheit to 84 degrees Fahrenheit, but it took quite a while and quite a few different experiments with the length of tubing and diameter of tubing. And there's a whole science to this that we kind of discovered along the way. One of the main things is that the diameter of the piping actually plays a huge role, and the length of the piping, because if you have a very long pipe, the water doesn't have time to thermo siphon up out of the tubing before it boils, and then when it does that, the pressure expands in the tube and actually it spits out hot water out of both ends, and that's when you get that boiling action, and it really messes up the whole thermo siphoning effect. And the way thermal siphoning works is that basically the hot water rises up the coil as it heats. And you know, if the coil is just way too tall with like more than 5 or 10 coils, it just gets really out of hand with it not having time to go up. And if there's not enough of a slant for the water to rise, that's also a problem. So if the coils are very flat, it's worse. You want them to be somewhat angled, and also the exit pipe needs to be going up so that the thermal siphoning can take effect. So all of that said, we are going to abandon this coil for now, the 1/2 inch external diameter piping tubing. We're going to be going to this 3/4 external diameter tubing, which we found actually like an amazing bargain. So we bought 50 feet of the 1/2 inch from one hardware store we found in where we live, and it was basically like $90 or so for that 50 feet of tubing. And you know, at this point, that's really pretty expensive, and that was even cheaper than if we bought it by the foot. We found this right here, which is 31 feet of 3/4 external diameter copper tubing for basically, it's $12 a pound, and this was $3.50 a pound, and this was 8 pounds. So do the math. I mean, it's about 20, about $30 or so, $32. So quite cheap compared to if we bought it at the store. At the store, this length would have been like over $100. So anyway, we found it at a recycling place. So go to your recycling, call your recycling locations up and ask them if they have copper tubing. That's what we did. So right now we're coiling this up. Also, we're coiling it against this big iron thing we have. You could do a bucket, but this is just more stable, and it has been nicer to coil it. And our coil is a little bit bigger in terms of diameter. Instead of the 10 that we were doing before, we're doing like a 13-inch coil. So we'll see how that works. It'll allow us to have a bigger fire around it, and we don't have to have as many coils, so we can stretch it out a little bit more, but it'll be wider, because if we made this smaller, we'd get more coils out of it, but not necessarily. But still, hopefully we'll see how this works, and we might even still have to shorten it up because of the length of the tubing. We don't want it too long. So anyway, all of that to update you. And then the last final thing is we have to get some different fittings. So these here actually work perfectly for us. They work with the tank pass-through or cooler drain.
It's a bulkhead technically.
Cooler drain or bulkhead fittings that we got that pass through the tank. Those bulkheads happen to have 2 threads, one on the outside for a normal hose, like garden hose fitting, which is a 3/4 garden hose thread, and the inside thread on those is a 1/2 inch iron pipe thread. So we got these fittings here, which have a compression fitting for 3/4 on one end. So this will go on our pipe, or on tubing. This will go over that. It'll compress down, and then this will screw into our bulkheads, pass-throughs, and this is a 1/2 inch iron pipe thread, male iron pipe, so MIP, 1/2 inch. So let's put it all together. We're gonna give it another test run, and hopefully this will be working a lot better than our previous setup. Okay, so I'm just gonna rotate it on and then push it up against this thing like this.
Check it out, guys. Steaming up in there. Nice. All right, guys. Well, look at this. We got it all set up. It's filling. It's above that mark now. And we've got the fire started and the coil. Get the coil secured with a little rebar here so it's a little lifted up. And the outside temperature is 37 degrees. And this has been in here for a little bit. Let's check what the water temperature is. Let me just look at it. Yeah, it's 34. Ouch.
It's pretty close to freezing. 34. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, it's gonna take a while because right now it's purely all cold water still coming in. Like, we gotta fill it all the way up to at least here. So guys, about 7 minutes in, we've got water flowing out the top, even though the water hasn't even reached that yet. And it's going pretty good. Guys, look at this. Woo-wee. So good. Hey, don't get that shovel dirty. We're gonna stir it up and test the temperature. So before we stir it up, let's see what it's at. It's at 63 at the bottom. Pre-stir. Let's go stir it up, lad. There's definitely a really hot layer on top. So we've been stoking it for 2 hours and 15 minutes at this point. We're gonna see where it's at. It's looking good and feeling pretty warm. We'll see what happens up there.
All right, this is the final unveiling. Watch this steam when we open this thing up. It's crazy. Watch this. Oh yeah.
Okay, so before we mix it, it is at 79 down here.
Okay.
Let's mix it up.
All right, mix it up.
Oh yeah. Let's see after we mixed it up.
How was it?
Oh, it's so good. It's going up to 90 right now, but it's higher. It's going up. It's perfect. It's so good.
All right.
Oh, get in here, lad. So guys, we just got in. It's been exactly 3 hours and 15 minutes. And we are at exactly 95 degrees, a little bit under 95, like 94.5 degrees. And that's up from 34, 35 when we started, straight out of an ice stream down there. So this is amazing. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully if you guys are interested in making something like this, you can probably get one made. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching that video. It was a great success, this hot tub. A lot of mistakes in our development of it, but we learned a lot, and hopefully you won't make the same mistakes now because you've seen what we messed up on. So just to recap, it was very successful in terms of being able to heat water we started at 35 degrees Fahrenheit and went up to 95 in 3 hours and 15 minutes, I believe. Anyway, we did some math. Basically, it's about 19 to 20 degrees an hour average. So that means at the end, it was actually heating a lot faster per hour. Anyway, it was just a great success. Awesome tub. And if you guys want to see it being installed in the woods again, we have a video of that down in the description. So please watch that, ask your questions. Hopefully we can answer some of those for you. And, if you make one of these yourself, let us know. We want to see it too. There's a couple of them out there on YouTube. So again, thank you guys, and God bless you, and we'll see you in the next video.